I like it because a lot of people, when they play against Boy, they really underestimate the fact that he is such a really damn good Dark Lady player. As someone that you have to be extremely wary of, particularly once he gets his core items, he can always set up players to take them into a really nice late game. The corrupted disciple is a interesting one because I've seen Imba recently play quite a lot of corrupted. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I am wrong.
No, you're right.
So corrupted has been quite a positive pick for them from what I can remember. And then the last one banned by Dozze is a Tundra, which is probably against Zane. Zane definitely a very good Tundra player. Legions bans, we see Balfagor, Silhouette, Ophelia, so a few tower pushers, and then Silhouette, who's obviously a great split pusher, something probably played by Madapa. Yeah, and then obviously going into the picks, we do see Magmus Andromeda, which I think is a very, very good start. Lots of team fight potential, lots of saving potential. Great lockdown, great laning phase. And then obviously Hellborn started with Master of Arms, Deadwood, and Riftwalker. So going for that really strong initiation, doing something very similar to Backdoor Protocol as well, which was very much focused around having that Deadwood, synced with some other good initiation tools around him. And yeah, I'll let you go into the rest of it now.
Yeah, so they pick up the Deadwood in response to that Andromeda, and we think about the Deadwood. He always wants to initiate on that single target, being that carry typically. Andromeda with the presence there to have that swap available, not only going to get him uh, the distance away from that Willowmaker, but also going to get that hero out of the Rotten Grasp. So I feel like that Andromeda pick's going to be very crucial this game. For whatever hero they decide to pick up for Boy, most likely on that carry role, that's going to be a great tool that they're going to have to work with to back up their uh, core heroes. And then you throw the Master of Arms and the Riftwalker on top of that Deadwood damage. If they're able to negate that with the Andromeda swap, it's going to be really nice. But a lot of minus armor presence. We've seen already the Master of Arms and Deadwood combination. So far this tournament, we've seen a little bit of Riftwalker play, but you talked about the team fight presence. We now have a Keeper of the Forest picked up and a Clanks. And if you
Ooh.
said name a more iconic duo in Heroes of New Earth, would you ever think to not say Clanks and Boy?
Pebbles.
Um, I don't think there's anything more iconic than what you've just said. So I'm gonna say no to that. That is probably the most, if not at least the top three most iconic combinations in the game. Something we have seen, over many, many years back in the days when he was playing for Reason Gaming, when he picked up
Yeah.
a lot of clanks back then, which I'm sure you probably had to play against, being in complexity.
Oh, don't bring back those days in memory for me, man.
Yeah,
I learned my lesson about the Clanks. Had to face that one at DreamHack a couple of times, and I
hopefully it's not
underestimated the power
P-
of the Clanks.
yeah, sure. Hopefully it's not bringing back any PTSD, which is
A little bit, but we'll forget about that. Times have changed a little bit, but we didn't miss going over the bands. We'll go over them really quickly. Monkey King, Madman, and Dampier banned out here from Team Tim. Gauntlet Engineer and Warbeast going to be banned out from 6U4U. So, what do you think about the bands there? A lot of different picks, at least come to my mind. We see heroes like the Warbeast, the Monkey King, etc. I'll let you take over though. Uh, talk
yeah.
about
So
those.
the Warbeast is a bit surprising because I think Zane is going to be playing the Keeper of the Forest most likely. I don't see anybody else playing that hero. So if you've got the Zane on Keeper of the Forest, he's not then going to play Warbeast, and I don't see anybody else playing Warbeast. So the ban is almost like, okay, you're banning another one of Zane's heroes, but is it going to fit into their draft at the moment? Probably not. Um, the Madman, so basically Gauntlet, Madman, Monkey King, very similar heroes in terms of how they kind of have that presence in the mid lane. Very, very much, about causing a nuisance with their damage-based spells, particularly Monkey King and Madman, who are very slippery. So I think Boy doesn't like these kind of slippery heroes that, could be put on somebody like Dozzy who likes to kind of run around with them. And then we've also got a Dampier band, which is probably against Malapa, who I think has played that hero in the past. Yeah, so that's my kind of sum up of the second banning phase. And then
Okay.
obviously the pick phase we do see um Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I was being stupid. So the keeper was picked up after the Warbeast ban. So okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so they
Yeah,
didn't
so
want to
they
deal with the
banned away
Warbeast.
one of them,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he gets his hands on the other one.
My mistake. Yep. So he's got his other hero, which is definitely viable. I like keeper with Clanks, and I think it's incredibly good with Kraken as well. And then you've got a Magnus. The team fight is going to be crazy. Hellborn's draft is more focused on trying to get Forsaken as much farm as possible, and grabbing your PKs on Deadwood and Pebbles, and just seeing if you can compete really.
Let's get it on.
The one thing I'll be interested to see is whether you think a Forsaken can match against Flanks in terms of not only farming, but then secondly in terms of late game. I actually think they're quite similar.
Yeah, I really like this matchup here. It's not one I think I can recall actually kind of seeing them kind of duke it out, but you know, you kind of pointed out they're very similar in terms of their farming speed. Both heroes able to kind of flash farm very effectively. I think you could even argue FA or Forsaken Archer comes online a little bit sooner than the Clanks, but definitely both with very hard carry presence, as they're able to deal lots of damage in team fights once they do get that kind of ball rolling. But I think the big one for me is going to be the supporting cast this game. I think both the FA and the Clanks are going to do well, and I think the teams are going to set themselves up to kind of get the farm going on those two cores. But I think it's going to come down to a lot of the surrounding supporting cast from the two teams. We see lots of initiators, lots of team fight presence, as you pointed out, across the board here. And I think the Keeper of the Forest, at least for me, is going to be a kind of key hero this game. I think if he's able to get really good roots off, it's going to really set up for good release of the Krakens and Magnus stuns and eruptions possibly coming out. Whereas a lot of the team fight presence from the Hellborn side is a lot of skill shot based. You know, you have skills like the Wormhole, the Rotten Grasp, stuff like that. If they're able to line those spells up with each other, you know, starting off with that Pebbles, for example, I think they have a really strong team fight as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the Pebbles pick. I like the combination of Pebbles and Deadwood because you can shut down the enemy supports really easily. The only problem I kind of see is how they're going to deal with Keeper of the Forest. I mean, Keeper is one of those heroes. I know you've played it quite a bit yourself. Like, do you find once he has a few levels in his invisibility, like he's just so focused down with dust, or do you think he's kind of like ignored as to when they can find, you know, the right opportunity to gank him?
I think he's just very tanky and annoying. Or it's kind of hard to bring him down with just a couple of heroes. They're gonna need to allocate a lot of resources, especially once he starts getting points in his Nature's Guidance for that extra armor. But I think he's gonna do quite well up here in this top lane. He's already gotten the first pull off, and generally when you play against these pulling style of suicides, again, this kind of goes back, you know, way to the long time ago. We used to see this often with heroes like Wild Soul, Warbeast, you name it. But generally what you want to do is just send a really strong hero up there to kind of deal with it 1v1. Because right now they're allocating the Riftwalker up here, and I don't feel like he's going to really be able to achieve a whole lot in terms of stopping Keeper from pulling these creep waves.
Yeah, as you say, you've got the help and support, which is the Riftwalker. Riftwalker's gone for boots. I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I just actually saw that he picked those up.
So yeah, as you say, I don't know what he can really do against Keeper of the Forest. Like, yeah, you've got some extra move speed, you can catch up to the Treant, but I find
might go down for the first blood here. There's a Magnus Lava Surge. He got caught down into the lane as Magnus does have those marchers picked up. But this kind of goes back to kind of how the laning stage has evolved. You have the Master of Arms Pebbles, Dual Mid versus Andromeda and Kraken, and you'd almost rather see the Riftwalker go down to the bottom lane with Deadwood. I don't know if, your thoughts necessarily on that, but going up against the Clanks and the Magnus, I don't feel like that's the scariest lane in terms of if it was a 2 versus 2.
yeah, so just talking about mid lane quickly, there was a jump. Pebbles did a double combo, which is quite nicely set up.
Oh wow, that's
Andromeda,
nice.
yeah, Andromeda was very low, so almost got the kid onto Andrew. But yeah, going back to your point about the Riftwalker, I think I would agree with you. I think trying to box out the Clanks and limit his farm is what you should be focusing on, because there's no way he can get involved against the Keeper. As yeah, Magnus gets taken out by the neutral stack. The jungle stack, I should say.
Was that intentional? Looks like he bought out his Striders and his TP.
I think it must have been, yeah,
I
probably.
think it was. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that that was. as he is still level 1, and a lot of the times it's just used as a free port back to base. But yeah, if we take a look at the GPM charts, you know, with Clanks getting that Bloodlust, he's already off to an amazing start. And Forsaken, she's doing next to the same in terms of creep kills, but not having that kill in comparison. She's going to be a little bit behind in terms of GPM.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the roles that Legion have set up.
Stalagmite stun, hold up. That thought catches Andromeda, but Kraken is turning this one around. There's a toss onto Kraken into the tower. Is this going to be enough damage for a kill at Pebbles? One more auto attack from the Kraken will be enough to secure that kill, and he will get the kill there onto Pebbles with the bottle sips, keeping him nice and healthy. So Pebbles does fall. Just so much minus armor between the Andromeda and the Kraken. Only, you know, with the level 1s of the Aurora and the Torrent there, as Pebbles, I'm sure you know, because as we've talked about, you are a seasoned Pebbles player. Very low armor there in the early game.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about the dual mid matchup is Kraken, I would have to give a slight favourite over the Pebbles because of the fact that, as you say, he's got high base damage and he's playing against Pebbles with low armor. So Pebbles does have the potential to be killed, which is what we saw. I think as well when it comes to Andromeda against the Riftwalker, who's kind of roaming around. I think not the Riftwalker, the Master Rams. I do think that Andromeda is a bit more useful in terms of how it synergizes with the Kraken. Obviously, you've got the extra minus armor, which increases the splash damage, and it just gives them more potential to kill. I think Pebbles and Master of Arms is a little bit weaker. I think if Pebbles MOA want to go for a kill, it has to be onto the Andromeda because the Kraken's going to be very difficult, especially with his tsunami charge, which he can use to get out of danger from.
Yeah, and in the early levels, the Master of Arms not having the good stun duration, being able to hold them in place. So Kraken, he finds himself in invisibility rune. We'll see if they look to possibly do a charge backwards or go for a kill attempt here, as he could look to push him into the tower even. We'll see if they do go for that, but he's currently missing a couple of creeps here in his attempt to set this one up. We had a kill in the bottom lane, by the way. Deadwood going down to the Magnus and the Clanks once again. As Pebbles, he does use the chuck there on the creep. There's a Word of Revelation though down, so it looks like they knew Kraken was invis the whole time here. And unfortunately for him, just gonna end up missing a couple of creep kills there.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the kill that you missed on the Deadwood. So as Clanks and Magnus dived, Deadwood was trying to juke, and he got towards his tier 2 tower, but then Clanks just about got the last hit off. So almost an escape, but I think Clanks' chase potential was so strong, particularly when you have steam boots. So yeah, chased him down and managed to get the good kill.
Magnus currently in the mid lane. I don't think this rotation was spotted, so Pebbles and Master Reps could be in some trouble. We have the Torrent coming out from Kraken, but no follow-up going to happen here as, the Word of Sight being placed by Master of Arms is going to spot out Magnus, and all of a sudden they are well aware of what's going on, as Stalagmite Stun came out in response, as well as an overcharge shot over on the Magnus, but as we can see, no follow-up there going to happen.
Yeah,
so Riftwalker, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out there. He just continues to kind of keep playing with the keeper dogs up here. But I feel like, I kind of pointed out he's not really stopping the keeper. His keeper is still level 6.
No, what I want to see from Riftwalker is I want to see him focus more on grabbing his level 6, getting his ulti as soon as he can, and just getting involved in team fights, because if you're roaming around at level 3, keeper's already level 6, so you can't do anything, I think he just has to really try and focus on getting some pulls out, stacking some camps, getting some experience, and then getting involved in the game, because where he is at the moment is just completely ineffective. And I also wanted to ask you, and we have to kind of mention about it, the Clanks against FA. I imagine probably about 50% of people might say FA is a stronger hard carry.
Top lane, we have a TP coming in from Kraken. Hold that thought as Keeper's going to line up the root. Here comes the Tsunami Charge into the release of Kraken, and FA will fall. She gets her piercing arrows off, but not enough damage for a kill, as Riftwalker, again, only the level 3, not really able to assist for anything. As Magnus, he ports, I believe he ported up here as well. But
Yeah, so-
could
so
you
with
repeat
the-
that?
Yeah, so with the Forsaken against the Clanks, I mean, if you were to play a 60, let's say 70-minute game, for example, who would you want to have in your lineup? Would you prefer having 6 slotted Clanks or 6 slotted FA?
You know, that's a tough one to answer, and I think I'm gonna base my answer kind of just purely off of the mobility factor Clanks has. I think with equal farm, I think they're kind of relatively similar carries. I think the ability of Clanks to just kind of be more mobile kind of benefits him. As we see, speaking of Clanks, he avoids the stalagmite stun there from Pebbles. So a missed opportunity there from our Hellborn side, unfortunately. But I'll pose the question back to you. What would you rather have on your side?
I think in terms of, it's difficult. I think probably Clanks just to
I
say,
think he's gonna fall here.
You may need
Too
to
much
purchase new
pressure.
keyboard
Gets caught by the
soon.
lava surge and company. But yeah, continue.
yeah, so I think just based on the mobility, as you say, probably Clanked. I do think he scales a bit better as well. So Forsaken, I think if you have a Forsaken against like 4 or 5 heroes in the late game, I think he will profit a bit better. Slightly, but then Clanks obviously has his kind of AoE magic damage, so it's difficult to call really. I mean, I'd probably give it to Forsaken damage output wise against a group of heroes, but in terms of like 1v1 against each other, I mean Clanks is probably going to profit a bit more because he is more mobile, as you say, and he can get around the team fight a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Yep, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. But speaking of him, we have the Whispering Helm picked up very early on. I did suffer that one death, but he's already got some jungle stacks to work on, so he's going to try to boost up his farm area. He's even going to use the piercing arrows to kind of clean up these stacked camps there. He's going to get level 9 now, as he, I believe, is currently the highest XPM in the game. So he's cleaning up those stacks now. And we have Kraken Veiled Rotting for him with the haste. He's going to miss the charge, but it's not going to matter. And he's going to maybe even steal some of these stacks away with his splash. So good find there from the Kraken to spot the low HP Forsaken farming there. At least the Kraken couldn't catch Rift initially, but looks like Kraken got a little overconfident having that haste here. And sometimes that overconfidence comes back to bite you because you feel almost like you can't be killed, but then all of a sudden you get caught by those stuns. It's Rebels lines left, and that's the Lightning stun, so they at least get a return kill there.
Yeah, Kraken. So qeno is Patrick Magda.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So Magda's playing mid. Magda against Dozze. I don't think I've seen that before. Interesting play style for both of them. I think they're both quite aggressive players.
Connecting here on the Magnus. Now there's Steambath preventing that Willowmaker from coming out, so Deadwood, he's going to be a little sad there. No Marchers picked up as well. Not going to be able to go for that kill.
Yeah, he's only just hit 100 GPM, so not having a good game. But he's level 7, so it's almost like, okay, I've got no farm, but I have got some experience. Don't have my boots yet, but at least I can Widowmaker someone. So, yeah, he's definitely struggling. But no, what I wanted to go on to next
Andromeda Veiled
was
Rotted, we're going to see stun into Eruption. There's the Comet stun as well, and Deadwood will fall. Nice execution there coming in from Team Tim as they bring down the Deadwood, and he does not get his Marchers picked up. So, talking about the Marchers, he's still lacking those.
yeah. So what I wanted to go into was Dozze on the Pebbles is going for Ghost Marchers, which I don't fully agree with because I think Legion have so much burst and lockdown. He's just going to die relative to having lower HP. I think he wants to go for extra mobility to try and catch the flanks, but I don't know if you would agree with me. I think he's just too squishy to go for Ghost Marchers this game.
Yeah, it's always been a kind of... I've never really been a fan of Ghost Marchers on Pebbles. I feel like just the benefits from Steam Boots just synergize so well with the hero as you bulk up with the Enlarge, giving you that extra auto attack. We have a Veiled Rot Pebbles here, gonna run right into Kraken. Do they have enough damage though, is the question. It looks like they do not as the swap comes out from Andromeda. They're looking to turn this one around. There's the charge. The double damage is helping out. Here's the wormhole being channeled, and they will get the one kill onto Kraken. Clanks is here now, and Riftwalker, he's gonna get rooted by Keeper of the Forest as well as the Pebbles. Master's Call comes out onto Pebbles, but will they have enough firepower here as a buyback happens from Master of Arms? Not going to get them any return kills, but perhaps preventing the dive there. onto Pebbles as, well, BKB, we've got a pretty large lead here being built 12 minutes in by Team Tim as they're up by 8,500 gold and 5,000 experience.
Yeah, massive lead so far, and I've noticed Zane on keeper has 400 GPM at minute 12, which is crazy. Like, it just goes to show, as you say, you made the excellent point about how if you're going to deal with a hero like keeper who kind of pulls creeps to his lane, then you need something a bit stronger than a Rift Walker, and it shows that Rift Walker has not worked out, unfortunately, against the keeper, because keeper's farming so brilliantly at the moment. Is that something? I mean, is that something you kind of expect? Do you think it is down to that hero matchup playing against the Rift Walker, or do you think Hellborn didn't rotate enough heroes onto keeper's lane?
No, I think they just didn't allocate the lanes properly in the sense that having Riftwalker up there didn't really stop his farm. They should have just left him in a 1 versus 1 matchup and then look to set up rotations later on, get Deadwood a better start to kind of contest that Clanks lane. And as we can see, Clanks is almost 600 GPM already, BKB. He has not been pressured at all this game. He's sitting on the 3-0 stat line as we have the swap come out from Andromeda
What's my
here.
name?
Magnus Lava Surge to follow, and the rest is history as Clanks picks up his 4th kill of the game. And, you know, in the reciprocate here, we've had Forsaken Archer. She's gotten ganked multiple times here. First one set up by the Keeper, and the second one set up by a Veiled Rotted Kraken. Whereas, you know, the Clanks is just more or less had free reign this game.
Yeah, as you say, free reign, which means that he can ramp up his GPM extremely quickly. He's at 600 GPM, Forsaken's at 460, so definitely a slight lead for Clanks. I think a lot of that comes down to the point you made about him being so mobile. I think because his mobility is so high, it just makes him so difficult to gank, especially if you have an underleveled Riftwalker, an underleveled MOA, Deadwood, etc., all struggling. It just makes it so difficult to really deal with that Clanks until you
Mid
have
lane, we have a release the Kraken connecting onto the Pebbles, and Master of Arms, he gets stunned up by the Andromeda. Here comes the Keeper blocking down the Deadwood. Clanks is here with the ATK drop, so that's going to be a double tap coming out for the Clanks. A hat trick for the team, as they're not done just yet. Magnus getting the catch here on the Riftwalker, as he has a portal key already on the Magnus, 270 gold per minute there. So the key items coming into play now for Team Tim as they take an excellent team fight. Hat trick on the carry. They're looking to pressure that tier 1 tower now, BKB.
Yeah, I mean, what a great start. Really making full use of the draft, making full use of the keeper. He's now level 11, so he's got 2 levels in his ultimate. Yeah, Hellborn are going to find this game quite hard to really recover, especially because Legion are taking up so much space on the map as well. You know, we've got a portal key and Magnus, we've got a portal key and Kraken, Clanks to the Dawnbringer, which I don't think tends to be very often. I think he usually goes for the Thunderclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think about that?
You know, it's gonna really assist his farming with the light brand aspect, applying that searing to the creeps, so it helps him farm faster. Allows him to constantly use his bangs, which I've been kind of keeping an eye on him doing that this game. And, you know, although he doesn't have the Thunderclaw, he's still outputting really good damage there. And we'll see if he looks to build into lifesteal next, or if he just goes for something like a Shrunken Head possibly, or some follow-up item to the Stormbringer. But I see the Mighty Blade pick up there, so I think we're getting the hint that this could be a Shrunken Head as his next choice.
Yeah, I think so. Shrunken Head would be a fantastic pickup, especially because there is so much heavy magic damage in the game. Who was I going to speak about? Yeah, so I think what makes the game extra hard for Hellborn is the fact that they're kind of lacking that PK initiation right now. So Pebbles with the Ghost Marchers, you know, spending a lot of gold in his boots and his mobility is, yeah, really delaying his PK, and he's only level 9, but his Clanks is 14, which means he can't solo kill the Clanks even when he has a PK.
Second Archer's gonna get stunned up here by the Tsunami Charge. Release the Kraken coming down, and there's the Master's Call. But will this be enough to hold his ground? Kraken is going to fall here as Magnus does come in for the kill. Andromeda gets the kill credit on
Kiss my ass.
Forsaken Archer,
Too
but Master
easy.
Arms picks up a double tap, so they did lose the FA there, but they did bring down 3 players. But, you know, as good as that trade is, BKB, I still go back to this Clanks. He's just continuing to farm away. They take out the tier 2 tower down there with the Keeper of the Forest, and he just continues to be roaming around getting his farm. He's 660 gold per minute. And, you know, FA, she's not doing that bad in comparison. It's just really the death's kind of setting her back, and she's still farming 522 or 520 gold per minute.
Yeah, she's doing well, and I mean, as we saw, taking out 3 heroes is a relatively okay trade for a carry in general. I just think because they're so reliant on FA winning the game for them, that every time she dies, it's almost like they're taking a step back. No matter how many heroes they kill, if FA dies, it's still, you know, kind of like 1 step forward and 2 steps back sort of situation. And yeah, until she kind of gets Stormbringer, Shrunken Head, maybe even an Nullfire Blade as well, I think she is going to find it quite hard to really handle the Clanks. But no, just getting back to the point about Hellborn lacking the portal keys right now, it's really making them suffer, and I think Clanks is just going to have the game of his life where he can move around and do whatever he wants until Hellborn get the items that they need to.
So Pebbles has his just delivered. Deadwood's still pretty far away from his. He's currently the lowest GPM in the game, so he's even farther behind the Riftwalker and the Master of Arms. Going to be quite a ways away from his. But before we have an engagement here, what are your thoughts on the Searing Light pickup on FA? Now we have the Dawnbringer on Clanks. I personally like the Dawnbringer on Clanks, but I'm not entirely feeling the same way about the Searing Light on FA this game. I'll give you my reasons for that in a second, but what do you think about the Searing Light there?
I'm not a massive carry player myself, so I don't really utilize Searing Light too often.
Wormhole, I believe, was channeled here. No, it was not. As Andromeda is going to be the first one jumped here by the Pebbles. Clanks picks up the double tap as they do bring down the Riftwalker and the Deadwood. Off to the side here, Magnus does fall to Forsaken Archer. Or no, that was... Yeah, that was over in the jungle there as Master Arms gets the distance to safety. But Kraken, he is not done. He jumps in with the turret, and he will take him out. Double tap coming out for the Kraken. But the reasoning I was saying I don't like the Searing Light this game is because I feel like he's going to need a Geometer's Bane and a Shrunken Head. Both in combination going up against that Keeper of the Forest route.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think going for the fast jump to Spain would be quite helpful. But even so, if you go for a quick Geobane, it's not really going to help you farm too well. I think having the Searing Light just solves your mana issues, means you can spam spells and creeps, and just gives you a bit more in terms of that mana regeneration. So yeah, I can kind of understand it. I can understand why he's not rushed the Geobane, but I think given how badly Hellborn has started, it's like, okay, it almost is relatively insignificant as to how he's built. I don't think it's gonna have a great impact in terms of, you know, turning the game, whether he has a Geobane or whether he has a...
FA's gonna be in some trouble here. Keeper of the Forest with a root ready to go. Andromeda coming in as well. There's just so much damage coming in. There's the piercing arrows though. They're looking to turn this around. Magnus taking heavy pressure, but not enough damage for a kill. As just the numbers too much for FA there to hold her ground. Meanwhile, we have Riftwalker getting caught out there by the Kraken with the Clanks nearby. Kills happening across the board. Pebbles gonna get a kill there on the Magnus, but did he end up sacrificing himself for this kill? He's gonna get killed here as Kraken picks up the double tap.
Yeah, good team fight. Just making use of their PKs really, and the team fight, team orientation. I think the draft is just so good for Legion. It's just literally they can take out anyone they want to, especially because they've got the items they need to. They've got the big PKs on to Kraken and Magnus. And yeah, it's making it quite hard for Hellborn to come back unless FA just make a miracle recovery. I'm gonna see this game going a bit towards Legion relatively quickly. But no, it's definitely been a very good start for this team.
Shrunken Head finish now on the Clanks and 1700 gold saved up, so I gotta imagine some kind of damage item in the works as this follow-up here has built into mobility and survivability with both the Dawn and the Shrunken. Safe to say I think he needs some kind of damage output assistance now to kind of really amp up that teamfight presence. But Forsaken Archer, she picks up the Mighty Blade. I do think we'll see the Shrunken Head now on the full Dawnbringer as he's kind of combat these stuns. But we have a fight brewing here. Riftwalker getting caught out by the Legion side. I believe that started off with a Magnus stun, and the teams will both disengage there, not continuing to fight.
Yeah, so I think sorry, you're talking about, was it Forsaken you mentioned?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Forsaken, I mean, if you get a Shrunken Head, it's going to keep her alive for a bit longer. But then if you go for the Shrunken Head build this early on, it's almost like you're so reliant on your spell damage as opposed to your physical-based DPS. So, I mean, yes, Shrunken
Oh
Head
my
would be
god, look,
great.
Magnus catching... Magnus actually spots out Pebbles there in the trees. That was a funny interaction. Keeper gonna jump in with the portal gate. He's gonna get onto 3, and they're gonna get 3 kills very quickly there. As Clanks pops the Shrunken, they get the double tap on him. Hat-trick for the team once again. And FA and Riftwalker, 2 versus 5. Are they gonna be able to stop this push from happening? They got 30 seconds on a couple heroes here. Gonna do some damage here to the base.
Yeah, going to see a full-on push. Should be taking the racks out relatively soon.
See the
Taking us.
piercing arrows coming out just to
Yeah, I was about to
delay
say.
the pre-push, but there's some more keeper minions being spawned to kind of tank the tower a little bit there for Planks to get this damage in. And taking that tower to about 25% HP there, dealing quite a bit of damage, and Clanks picks up a Dancing Blade. If he gets his wing bow here, he's going to be very difficult. We have Veiled Rot on both the Pebbles and the Deadwood. Looks like they're thinking about setting up a kill here. As we can see though, Team Tim is falling back to their Kongor with a couple players hanging in the area here. Will they get the find that they're looking for? Looks like they're going to go for their own Kongor now. Fortisight is here in the pit though, so they have full awareness of this happening. Will they go for the steal possibly into that would drop them a token. No, they're gonna looks like kill their own Kongor first, so they definitely don't want to drop over a token over to Hellborn, but looks like they will bot out the Riftwalker here. Andromeda gonna run in. Is there gonna be any team support here? Here comes a swap from Andromeda. A couple more auto attacks and Riftwalker, he will fall to the solo Andromeda. Kraken jumped in, wasn't able to snipe out the Kongor, but he does get the kill onto FA. That's a huge kill coming in from Kraken there, as he used that release the Kraken with his brand new Shrunken Head.
Just seen, I don't know if you've seen Deadwood's score 0, 8, and 0. Like, for the game end, I just want him to get at least 1 assist. Like, I really hope he does.
You know, if
Otherwise,
you actually didn't say that to me, I wasn't even going to notice it. But that is quite the score there. Magma's going to jump in with a 2-man Lava Surge Eruption. And he will end up falling. Oh, here comes the Keeper Root on top. They will bring down both the Pebbles and the Master of Arms, it looks like. As Deadwood will also fall. Does get his Willowmaker off, but there's a buyback on FA. It's not going to happen
as well.
as that's going to do it. 30,000 gold, 20,000 experience leap. Way too much for 6U4U to come back from. And Team Tim will take game number 1 here in this best of 3. So final thoughts, BKB, on our game number 1.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate stomp. Relatively quick game as well. And I think a lot of that was just Legion's draft just so good, so comfortable, and yeah, big credits and big props to how they executed it. Hellborn, so reliant on FA and Pebbles getting their core items, but they couldn't get them in time, and they just ended up getting overrun really. And I think that's what it came down to.
Yeah, just a very well executed lineup coming out from Team Tim, and well played to them. So we'll go on a short break here. Game number 2 coming up shortly, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, everyone. We're here once again now with game number 2 between 6U4U and Team Tim. Team Tim taking that first game there, so they are leading 1-0. Again, this is a best of 3. So we are underway now with the bands. I'm going to be solo casting here for a couple of minutes. BKB is taking a short break. He'll be back with me. But we have the Balfagor and the Ophelia bands once again coming out from Team Tim. Dark Lady and Andromeda thus far for our Legion side here with one more ban remaining. We have the Silhouette ban once again. I believe these are the same 3 bans coming out from Team Tim. And we will see the final ban going to be that Keeper of the Forest. So no Keeper of the Forest here in game number 2, as that one proved to be a little bit too disruptive for them with those Keeper roots and that creep pulling in the top lane last game. Welcome back, BKB. We're completed here with the bans. Is there anything you want to talk about? They are pretty much the same outside of, I believe, the Keeper of the Forest ban.
Yeah, so I just heard you say about the keeper, which makes a lot of sense because keeper was, if I'm completely honest, I think the MVP of that game. Just picking up as much farm as he did was just so incredibly useful, particularly if you're playing a solo suicide. The more levels and farm that you can get, the better chance you have of winning. So I do understand the ban with that. We can see everything else is pretty much similar from the last game, very standards, Balfagor, Andromeda. I think the Balfagor
Master of
is
Arms.
probably banned against Mudappa. I think he's quite good with the hero and he likes to play it. So obviously something they don't want to deal with. Yeah, but everything else pretty standard in my eyes, and I think it'll be interesting to see what sort of picks we see in game number 2.
Yeah, so we already have a first pick Pebbles coming out. We very rarely get to see a first pick Pebbles, as that one typically gets picked up later on in the draft. But Master of Arms going to be the first pick coming out from 6U 4U, as they're taking a little bit of time here with that next pick, going to be the Magmus. So not giving that one up over to Team Tim, as they had that one last game, and the Andromeda, as we saw, they're getting banned out in the blind ban. So we see the Kinesis pick coming out right away in response to that Magmus. So perhaps, thinking that that would be the case, as they did leave the Magmus on the board, and they're going to have that Kinesis Thoughtsteel to potentially take over the Lava Surge there from the Magmus.
Yeah, so Kinesis, I think we've seen it quite often, especially in terms of countering the Magmus. It makes a lot of sense. It's almost like when you have a Kinesis in the hero pool, it's almost like you're trying to bait the Magmus pick sometimes, because you know the moment they take a Magmus hero, you can then counter it straight away. So something I've seen Imberboy do a few times, and he's choosing to replicate that today, is going for that Kinesis pick. I'm just curious to see where it's going to be laned, whether you think it's going to be like a, perhaps, I don't know, maybe a mid-hero Kinesis or maybe a position 4. I don't see it on position 5. I think it's not the best for that because I think it needs to roam a lot. But yeah,
Okay.
what do you think? Where do you think we're going to see Kinesis in terms of the laning phase?
I think we're gonna see it either secondary support or main support. And the reason for that is we have both a Pebbles and a Warbeast picked up. So I think we're gonna have that as a support hero this game, with 2 more cores, or excuse me, another support and the carry for Imberboy picked up on the last couple of picks there. But it looks like, again, we're going to see a pulling suicide for Zane, most likely. I don't expect this to be a jungling Warbeast. I think they're going to run it very similarly to the Keeper of the Forest last game, which, again, he was very disruptive, got a lot of farm, caused a lot of issues for 6U, 4U. So I think we're going to possibly see a similar style of game plan here from Team Tim. But we'll go over the bans now. They're almost completed. We have Puppet Master, Moira, and Swiftblade going to be banned out there. So some early game aggression style that carries, on top of that Moira being banned away there. Then we have the Lord Sulfuras and the Monkey King. So the Monkey King once again getting banned out here. I believe that was banned last game as well. Here that we don't get to see a whole lot of, honestly, but kind of wish we did get to see him a little bit more. He's kind of entertaining to watch, at least from my perspective. But the Lord Sulfuras and the Oogie, those really tanky team fighter style of heroes, Team Tim doesn't want to deal with those. So, any other thoughts you'd like to share there with the bands, or
No,
pretty
you pretty
straightforward?
much, yeah, pretty straightforward. I think you've summed it up really well. I think, as you say, dealing with this kind of slippery team fight heroes are quite annoying. And it makes sense to see them kind of taken away from the hero pool. I am perhaps a little bit surprised out of all of them to see the Oogie band, because I don't know anybody on Legion who is sort of like iconic with the hero. I don't know if Madaba plays it, for example, or somebody else, but I think Oogie is one of those heroes which I think they might have banned it in general as opposed to being like player targeted.
Parasite.
We do see Parasite picked up, so I'll
Oh.
let you talk about that one.
Okay, we're gonna have a Kraken into a Parasite, and I almost wonder if the Legion side is expecting this to be a jungling war base because we have not seen a whole lot of jungling outside of perhaps a couple of Ophelia picks today. And I'm a little surprised to see a Parasite pick up here, especially going up against a couple of strength heroes, very tanky targets for the Parasite to kind of rotate around and burst down in the early game. But
Gemini.
as I pointed out already, I do think this
Glacius.
is going to be an offlane war base. I don't think they're going to run a jungling war base this game, and that's going to give them a big lane advantage if they do lane the war base with the two supports getting Pebbles that quicker portal key versus having the jungling Parasite coming out from the Legion side, where that's going to make their laning stage that much more difficult.
Dampier.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just wanted to ask you. I think they've changed. Have they changed Parasite? Have they nerfed it or something?
There was some interactions with the infest. Now you can target or whatever creep you infest, you always get a flat golden XP bounty. So
Okay.
it's no longer based on whether or not you hard camp creeps or whatnot, but also if an
Let's get
enemy
it on.
damages your creep before it's about to die, both the attacker and the parasite will get golden experience bounties versus before on the older version of parasite, if an enemy killed your creep, you wouldn't get any experience or gold if they had or not killed the creep, sorry, if they had dealt damage within a certain amount of time, they would deny parasite that experience. So that would prevent parasite from having a strong ganking presence in the early stages of the game. But now he will get his experience regardless, so very good change for him. But we had a Gemini and a Glacius pick coming out on the last two picks there for Team Tim. So they will be running, I like to call it the double dog combo. I don't know what you call it, BKB, but Gemini and Warbeast in the same team. Arguably some of my favorite heroes. But
Yeah. I don't know.
yep.
Double dog seems pretty good. I can't improve on that, unfortunately. I'll take your saying for it. Take your phrase.
You could also call them wolves, whatever you want to call them, dogs. But then we have the Dampier and, well, we already talked about it quite a bit, the Parasite as the last two picks. So we saw Dampier actually banned in game number 1. I'm pretty excited to see Dampier here. We saw him played in one of the earlier series. I think it was Backdoor Protocol against Big Ego Crew. And pretty fun game to watch the Dampier.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he was banned in the first game, wasn't he? I'm sure he was banned by Imba.
I think in this series, yeah, he was banned in the previous game.
Yeah, so I think they banned it known as a threat, and I think now Legion have picked it up. It'd be interesting to see whether that ban was actually worth it, and whether Dampier can be made to be that useful, hero that we saw Snark play in game number 3 of Series 1. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with the Dampier.
So Glacius has boots picked up. Looks like he's going to be following this Parasite around, using that Ice Imprisonment to freeze the creep. We'll see if Parasite is going to instantly jump out of his creep there, wants the experience, doesn't want to get frozen. So this harassment from Glacius definitely going to be pretty annoying for him to deal with. Now, I like what they're doing. See, I talked about this so much last game. Maybe somebody was listening. They send one hero to deal with the pulling suicide, so the Dampier. And, think of heroes that are great at dealing with 1 versus 1 lane pulling. Dampier's got the lane sustain from his Bloodthirst, which he's skilled already right away. And, he'll be able to possibly solo kill the Warbeast once he gets to that level 6, or possibly even earlier if he's able to output lots of harass. But I like the way they're laning this so far. We have a dual mid here with Kraken and Master of Arms against Kinesis and Pebbles. And then we have the Magmus with boots going into the offlane here with Parasite in the jungle, of course. Magmus against Gemini with Glacius roaming. Bloodlust still going to happen here in the mid lane as Master of Arms gets gone on from the flank with Glacius picking up that Ice Imprisonment, assisting for the kill. So that's a good start here for Team Tim as they pick up that Bloodlust on their Glacius. But what do you think about the laning setup, BKB?
I think I like the Gemini. I like the Gemini in the safe lane on his own because Magnus, especially with Magnus going for boots first, thinking he's going to be 1v2, he is going to struggle to last hit. And I think Gemini is going to have such a easy lane. He's now at 320 GPM, Magnus is at 110, so we can see that in full action there. But just looking at the GPM scale already. The mid lane, I think, just based on how it's gone so far, Hellborn definitely have an advantage. You know, you've got an early kid on to Glacius, which means that he can pick up his striders and be a bit more useful in terms of rotating. We do have Pebbles who's farming quite nicely, and then in the bottom lane you've got Warbeast against the Dampier. I think normally I feel quite confident with the Dampier in the lane. However, because Zane is playing the Warbeast, I almost think, okay, Zane's probably got a slight advantage because he's just so good with the hero. And so good in the lane in general that he's, you know, so hard to deal with. And yeah, I think Warbeast will probably win that one.
Yeah, so he's going to continue that pulling there, denying the experience over to Dampier. We can see Dampier, he's even going behind, he's willing to take this risk of going behind the tower just to make sure to guarantee himself that experience. Doesn't want to get those creeps denied, as Creepo will eventually pull back into his favor. But creep score, it's 16-3 Warbeast against 13-1, so you kind of called it. Warbeast doing a nice job here, already denying a lot of creep kills over to the Dampier.
Just speaking about the Warbeast a bit further, what do you think? I know you obviously play it in the jungle quite often. I've seen you stream it and you quite like the hero. But what do you think in an off lane we're going to see skill build wise?
Skill build wise, I think he's going to be maxing out Battlecry and Wolves. He may look to put a point or two into Primal Surge, as we have an initiation mid, but Kraken actually doesn't have a Tsunami charge. That's a pretty greedy skill build there. It's actually going to be fine as he, nope, he gets initiated on here by the Lava Surge from Kinesis there, so he will fall, and there will be a counter kill coming out onto the Kinesis, but Master of Arms, he's going to go down here to the Stalagmites on combo from Glacius, or with the assistance from Glacians as well. It's a double tap for Pebbles, and I gotta question the Kraken not specking his Tsunami charge there by level 3 already, especially going up in a 2 versus 2 lane in the mid lane.
Yeah, good play some Pebbles. Nice to get those early kills, and I think it's almost ruined the mid lane for Legion. I don't see how they can kind of recover now. I think the rotating Glacius is just working out so nicely for them. Just going back to the Warbeast quickly, like, is there any reason why you might want to get
Glacius
one?
and Pebbles going at it. Hold on with that thought, as he does have mana for the Ice Imprisonment. Will he use it on the Force Spitter here is the question. Looks like he will be out of range. He will be just fine. Oh, in the top lane we actually have an engagement there as Magnus goes down. Kinesis baiting this all along as Gemini splits into dog form. Doesn't have mana for the jumps to lock down Kraken, so Kraken will make the escape. Looks like Parasite and Glacius kind of having fun with each other there, but yeah, while we have a quick moment here, actually hold that thought, as we actually have a freeze from behind, and Master of Arms will fall to the Pebbles combo following that up. So we see a 5-1 hero kill lead coming out from Team Tim. But could you repeat that question, as I kind of forgot what you had asked me there?
It's fine. I'm just thinking, when it comes to Warbeast in the off lane, is there any reason why you might get 1 or 2 levels in the E-spell?
If he feels he needs the regen, because you get passive health regeneration. If he feels he needs that, then he could, but as long as he keeps sending himself flights, he should not need it necessarily. And he can look to just max out the battle cry with the Hellhounds. But we have a Warbeast Metamorphosis being used here for the Dampier. Glacius did get the slow off. Will he get in range for a nice imprisonment? And meanwhile, in mid lane, we have an engagement as Pebbles and the Magnus do both fall. Dampier being dove here, but has a consume coming up in 4 seconds, so Warbeast will retreat here as Metamorphosis was running out. And they will not be able to set up that kill.
Yeah, so what do you think about... So the Glacius is level 3. Obviously he's had quite a bit of impact so far in the early game. I want to talk to you again about the skill build, which is something we spoke about, I think it was in whatever series it was, series number 1 or number 2. When it comes to the Glacius in this sort of game, I would like to kind of see him get a few levels in the aura. I think going for extra levels in the W as well makes a lot of sense to freeze obviously the Parasite creep. Would you be in agreement with me, or do you think he can kind of skip the aura to an extent and just max out the nukes? nukes as something else.
I think he could. I think 1 point might be enough in the aura. Maybe he could look to put in one more, but I think maxing out the Tundra Blast and the Ice Imprisonment will give him a lot more presence for these ganks. Dampier getting very low, by the way, multiple times now as Kinesis is coming over. Misses the Lava Surge. Will it matter in the end? Here's the question, as the Hellhounds kind of blocking Kinesis there, but Parasite coming over in the Vagabond leader, looking to try to set up a kill here. He's in the creep. He will jump out. As meanwhile, mid lane they set up a kill there on the Pebbles, 3-player rotation with Kraken. Still don't release the Kraken just yet, but having enough damage there to lock him down. Meanwhile, this fight kind of continues in the jungle here. Kinesis does not have boots. Leech will slow him down. There's the torrent from Kraken. He will use a Lava Surge, but he will die to the Dampier as Glacius is on the run. Magnus will not have another Lava Surge here, so he's trying to get in range, but not going to get himself the distance there for a return kill.
Yeah, nice kill for the Dampier, picking his GPM up quite nicely. 350, Gemini's at 460, so he is still behind. I would like to see some stacks coming out from Legion, because I think if they can get the right farm on Dampier, I do think he can carry the game. The only real main issue is I don't know how he's going to deal with the Warbeast, because I think Warbeast is... I don't think a Dampier full combo can kill him. Am I right with that?
Not right now, but I'm more so worried when the game kind of rolls around into mid-game and Warbeast starts picking up items like Brutalizer. I think that's going to be really difficult for Dampier to deal with. But I also would like to see an Alchemist Bones on Warbeast this game. Not only because I love the item, but because there's a Parasite in the game, so specifically for this game it's very good. And we have Gemini almost taking out the tower here in the top lane. Meanwhile, we have an initiation from mid lane to release the Kraken, locking down Pebbles. Kinesis is here. He has a torrent ready to go. He will slow up the Kraken. Pebbles, he will get himself the distance as the freeze comes in from Glacius on the Kraken. Glacius goes down to the slow from Parasite as Kraken. He will just barely hold his ground on 10 life, and it's a double tap coming out for the Parasite as they get kills onto both the Glacius and the Kinesis. So Gemini ports in, but not going to be here in time to set up a counter kill as he was busy pushing that top tier 1 tower. But yeah, speaking of the Gemini, 530 gold per minute. Once again having free reign here in game number 2. Oh, once again off to another good start.
Yeah, just comes...
Bottom lane, Dampier gonna get the solo kill there onto Warbeast. There's just no let up in the action, BKB. It's Glacius trying to output some pressure back here, but Warbeast getting caught by the Dampier. There goes down.
Yeah, there goes my inevitable curse on one of the heroes. I wanted to go into who was I going to talk about? Yes, the Parasite. I've just seen him pick up the the Luminous Prism? I don't know if that's the right name.
Yeah, but, so the puzzle box.
Yeah, so puzzle box. Here. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Is that something you'd go straight for this game, or do you think we could see? I mean, I think you're quite a puzzle box. Excuse me. I think you're quite a big fan of puzzle box yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, it's arguably his best item choice. However, the issue I have this game is he's gonna have a lot of problems to face. He's gonna be dealing with Glacius Freeze. Kinesis lifting his creeps with his ultimate. As we have Dampier falling here in the bottom lane. Metamorphosis does wear off, so that was a Glacius and Warbeast ultimate, well, just the Warbeast ultimate used there for the kill, but here comes Parasite and Magnus with the face hug. They will get the kill there, as Magnus going to fall back and be just fine. So they do end up killing the Warbeast, or the Dampier, but it comes at the cost of the Warbeast.
Yeah, I also wanted to touch on the Warbeast again. So we see the Abyssal Skull. I think are you more in preference of going towards that Whispering Helm? And if so, has Whispering Helm been changed recently? Is it better than it used to be, or has it been nerfed? Is there any chance we could have seen that instead?
Hold that thought. Double stun coming in from the Pebbles here as he lines up the toss onto Moa, stunning up both the Kraken and the Master of Arms. There gets that 1 kill.
Yeah, so just going back to Warbeast when it comes to Whispering versus Abyssal, which is something we talk about quite a lot as HON players.
Yeah.
What do you think is better on the hero in general?
If you go for the Whispering build, hold that thought again as we have Glacius going down here. Okay, pretty straightforward kill there. He gets caught out of position, but Whispering Helm generally uh, leads you into building into the puzzle box. So you go for the creep army Warbeast build. But against the Parasite, he's not going to want to go Whispering Helm as the creep will just easily get infested by Parasite. Failed Rod here, opening onto the Pebbles. 4 players, that is just not something Pebbles can ever have enough HP to survive, unfortunately. At least the Kraken on top of that face hug. Too much damage there for Pebbles. So to slow him down once again, he's still farming at 375 gold per minute, but we'll slow down his PK by a little bit there. As Gemini wishes the top tier tower now, 560 gold per minute. But back to your question about the Warbeast. As Lava Surge connects onto Kraken, there's the Stasis Smash locking him down. Freeze on top, he can't get a Tsunami charge off, and Warbeast is there with his Metamorphosis, trying to bring Parasite out of this creep. Now he's changing targets and going for the Master of Arms. The auto attack's just chunking in the damage. Here comes the Twin Fangs jump, gets him in range for the breath, and that will be the kill there onto the Master of Arms. So 3 kills go in the way of Team Tim in exchange for 0.
Yeah, to be honest, I think they kind of needed that. I think they needed Gemini to get involved because he's such high level. He's gone for the firebrand, which means he's such an excellent ganker with the increased movement speed and agility. The one thing we saw last game was APPLE getting straight for that Dawnbringer.
Waste of time.
I do wonder if we're going to see that again.
There onto Kinesis. But yeah, continue.
No, I was just going to say, so we saw the Dawnbringer last time on APPLE Boy. I do wonder if we're going to see that again, or if we might see a Geometer's Bane. I personally think we're going to see a Dawnbringer. I think he's going to stack the HP and get as tanky as he can. And I do think the slow is going to be really useful. Yes,
Yep.
so we see that, yeah.
Yeah, it's the very Imbo Boy item build. Dawnbringer into Shrunk and into Genjuro is his typical preferred item build for the Gemini. And I don't see a reason why he wouldn't want to go for that this game, as all of those items are going to be very, very good. Bottom lane, we have a Glacial Downpour being channeled there on the Magnus. He does get stunned up. He can't get his Lava Surge off as that Ice Imprisonment initially causing issues for him, and he does go down. We have Kraken in the area, gonna run into Kinesis possibly here. Oh, just barely avoiding him. Looks like he did spot him out though, but see if he can line up a Tsunami charge here, or Kinesis with that Lava Surge. Not gonna stun up on the tree, so he does get that stun to safety. Oh, actually, never mind. Release the Kraken, gonna catch him out regardless here. Stasis Smash, is it going to save his life? This charge is gonna be used here, gets him in range for the splash hit. The Kinesis will fall.
Yeah, it's good to see Dozze having a better game this time. I think the first game on Pebbles, he was kind of very slow in terms of building his PK. He should get his PK in about a minute or so, because he's got a shield to sell, and he's 200 away. So that would be a fantastic pickup, and I think when he gets his PK, it will give them that potential to kill the Gemini, which is what they really need to do right now. I don't know if you've just seen the GPM
Speaking
chart.
of Gemini, he's here in the mid lane. Now we have an Eruption being channeled from Magnus, but Pebble's gonna miss the combo there, tossing the Wolf. As he just picked up the portal key. Not gonna find his opening there. Oh,
Yeah,
looks
so
like they're going for the Kongor actually. They got the Abyssal Skull on the Warbeast. Pretty early Kongor kill.
Yeah, it makes sense when you've got Abyssal, just give you that con potential. I think I was about to say, I don't know if you've seen the GPM chart, but Gemini is at 630 at the moment. So
Parasite gets killed by Kinesis.
Allow me to retort.
So getting that ultimate warrior streak from the Parasite.
yeah, I don't think it's a better hero. Maybe Riptide to have a DD rune on. I think when you have a DD Pebbles, he hits for like 300 or 290, which is crazy. And yeah, when you have the PK as well, it's always going to turn into a kill, which is always good to kill the Parasite, slow down his puzzle box farm. As I think he's only got a puzzle box 1 at the moment. Or was it level 2? Yeah, puzzle box level 1.
Yeah, it's currently level 1. Not having the best GPM, only 260 gold per minute. But it looks like we're not going to see the Alchemist Bones on Warbeast except the Mighty Blade, so going into that early Shrunken Head. And Gemini already on 2,000 gold, getting very close to that full Dawnbringer, where he's going to be very, very hard to deal with again. Dampier picks up the early portal key. think I'd like to see him start trying to use that though, if they're gonna go for more of the aggressive route rather than continuing to look to farm with that. Master Spell comes out onto the Magnus. Double combo coming in from the Pebbles, lining up both the Master Marks and the Pebbles, making a hat trick for Kinesis as he cleans up all the kills there. Kraken going down as well to the Stasis Smash. So 3 kills for none in favor of Team Tim.
Yeah, definitely a good team fight for them as they make it
Pastron
a
on
4.
the Pebbles. He's going to toss back the Minotaur back to Warbeast. Parasite gets kicked out of the creep there, and now he's in trouble as he uses the face up there. He will fall. And it's going to be a 4th victim now as only the Dampier survives.
Yeah, Parasite, unfortunate. He's not having the best game. I mean, he did pick up a few kills early on, but if you're 250 GPM in the jungle against a Warbeast who is like off lane 310 GPM is not where you want to be. I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but I don't think the hero is that effective to get puzzle level 3. I think puzzle 1 and 2 are a bit too weak, especially as the game goes a bit further.
We have a kill here in the top lane as Dampier goes down. Glacia's going to also fall to release the Kraken. Is going to hold Gemini in place, and that's going to be a double tap coming after Kraken. So they did lose their Dampier, but they finally bring down the raid boss Gemini, who was level 15, over 600 GPM. But meanwhile, this was going on. Warbeast gets the tower in the bottom lane, split pushing there, and they have 2 of the 3 outer towers now brought down as Warbeast will take over the jungle here.
Yeah, it's the same split push in the tier 2 tower. Is that giving you memories of recent gaming?
Kraken picking up his portal key, definitely something that they were needing as they were lacking the initiation. Magnus still very far away from his portal key, but Dampier, he's going to need quite a few more items. I feel like this game is going to need that Shrunken Head eventually, as well as possibly upgrading into the Dawnbringer. Very far away from completing these next tier of items. But Gemini, I think we'll see him working on his Shrunken Head as his next item as well. He's got the full Dawnbringer completed still.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't go for anything other than a Shrunken Head. One, I don't think we've talked much about the Kraken. So Kraken with this PK, a bit of gold saved up. I personally think it's best for him to go for a bit of extra damage, so something like a Soul's Bulwark. I mean, could possibly see a Storm Spirit. I haven't seen a Storm Spirit Kraken for ages. I don't know if you've seen one lately in your TMM games. What do you think about the differences between like going for like a Bulwark for extra armor as opposed to like a bit of extra lockdown with the Storm on perhaps a Gemini who can split bangs and use his ultimate?
You know, it's tough for me. I think there's merit to both items here, and there's a lot of physical damage coming out, even from Gemini with the armor pen from Elemental Force. So I think there's good reasoning for that. We have a Pebbles jump coming in, catches Master Arms out, he will fall. Magnus going to be the next victim as Release the Kraken is down on the floor. Gemini is in God form. He's going in for the kill here as he does bring down the Dampier, and it's a huge fight coming in from Team 10. Kraken, lone survivor, but not for long. It's going to be a full genocide there. No kills happening for 6U, 4U, and that will mean the next outer, or the last outer tower will be brought down here. Yes, all 5 players are here.
Yeah, what can you ask for? 5-0, really good team fight, and they may even take a rack side. We'll wait and see.
Well, I think they can definitely get the base tower here, or the tier 3 tower here, but will they get the racks is the question. We have a jump coming in from the Pebbles. Definitely a greedy dive coming in there. They will bring down the Master of Arms. Magnus getting locked down. He will fall as well. So they do lose 2 players. Buyback happens from the Magnus, but they did sacrifice their Pebbles there. Will they get the range racks? Oh my god, it's so low. The leash range on the dogs there just wearing off, so he wasn't able to finish off the racks.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't commit to it, because Gemini is full HP. I think he could have tanked Legion's initiation if they were to go, but choosing to play safe. There is money on the line this tournament, so I can understand the choice of backing off there.
So no Shrunken, there's a Shroud pickup on the Gemini, going full aggression here. Not feeling he needs that that magic immunity. But Warbeast does have his shrunken completed. Pebbles, he goes for the spell shards. I think I've asked you this on previous casts before. I think I already know the answer that you're a fan of the spell shards on Pebbles.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And especially seeing as how there's 3 vestment pickups on the side of Legion, so a lot of armor, a lot of ability to ignore the magic armor there from multiple heroes. But Puzzle Box, I think is it still only level 1 for Parasite? I feel like there's not a whole lot of items across the board. There's still no portal key on the Magnus, 22 minutes in. Only Striders on the support Master of Arms. You can really tell how much the Legion side has struggled to kind of find their core items this game, as even the Kraken PK kind of took a little bit longer than I think they were hoping for. But Dampier, he's fallen below 400 GPM now. He's kind of their sole survivor, sole last kind of hope here. But again, he's just so far behind the Gemini. So they're in a very, very tough predicament here. As
just
Magnus,
seen-
he could be in some trouble. There's going to be a jump from the Pebbles. Gemini follows it up. He's going to go down. Dampier jumps in. He's going to get stunned up initially, but he does get his combo off. And he will get the turn kill onto the Pebbles. Gemini uses the Shroud to make the escape.
Yeah, I've just seen the Warbeast has a Abyssal. Do you like that?
Soul's Bulwark, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, not the Abyssal. Excuse me. The Bulwark. You just picked up the Bulwark. What do you think about that?
Pretty solid against the Kraken and the Master of Arms. Also will assist the tower push. He's going to have a jump here on the Fallacious. He gets caught out over by the Legion's ancient area, but Orbeez continuing to split push down here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Bulwark, I like it as well because if you build it into Demonic, it just gives you so much push potential. And I think, when they're looking to kind of execute that push, they'll be feeling quite strong with it. And I think it synergizes incredibly well with Gemini's base damage too because he's going for the Shroud. He has a Dawnbringer, so he does hit pretty hard. And yeah, definitely get the items they need. I don't know if he mentioned Glacius with Staff of the Master, but he has picked
No,
that
I
up.
missed that one.
Yeah, so I'll let you talk about that.
Glacius is really farmed. Glacius has a staff. Glacius is almost 300 GPM. No, but joking aside, he's got a lot more farm than I was actually expecting him to have. He's almost 300 GPM.
Yeah, I mean, considering he is roaming so much and put a lot of pressure onto the Parasite, it's good to see that he's managed to transition that into quite a big item. And he's chosen to go for that as opposed to going for like a portal key and like a tablet, which is quite interesting. It doesn't feel like
Kraken gonna get stunned up here by the Kinesis Lava Surge Parasite. Could be in some trouble now. He's kicked out of the Skeleton King. Shrunken Head Warbeast up. He's gonna face hug onto the Kinesis, but he will fall here. 2 kills going the way of Fallacious, as the rest of Legion will fall back.
Yeah, so just kind of thinking, it's interesting how he's chosen to rush that staff as opposed to going straight for a PK.
What's my name?
Oh, Gemini gets the catch there on the Magnus as well. Yeah, I think he just feels like he doesn't need it. Maybe he'll look to staff upgrade somebody, and that's kind of the reasoning behind it as well. Probably the Pebbles, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd probably say Pebbles, maybe... No, not Warbeast. Warbeast Ultimate isn't very good with the staff, I think. But it's not as good as it is with Pebbles.
Kraken gonna get a charge back here. That's a Pebbles illusion. Not gonna hit the real Pebbles. Pebbles jumps in on the Magnus. Magnus falls, but he gets again. And Kraken also goes down after getting off his release to Kraken. There's gonna be the concede bow, BKB. And just like game number 2, we see Team Tim taking it here. So this one will conclude without a third game coming up. 2 games to nothing. Team Tim will be moving on to the next round. Final thoughts here on the series.
Yeah, good series. Relatively quick in terms of what we've casted before in comparison. So I think what this games came down to was execution of the drafts. I think that was definitely in APPLE Bo's team's favour. Picking a lot of kind of unique heroes for Zane that he likes to play. So the Warbeast and the Keeper really profited quite well for them. And I think overall they were just too strong. They what's the other team called? I forget the name.
6U for you.
particularly for you. I think a lot of their players are probably quite inexperienced when it comes to tournaments and not having that ability to really understand how effective, Imberboy and Zane can be in these big games. And yeah, we saw the full effect of Team Tim and how they performed, and it was definitely quite entertaining, albeit quite short games.
Yeah, so we see that one coming to a conclusion now. We actually have one more series coming up though, and I think we're gonna be getting that one going pretty soon here, as we're gonna go on a break before getting that one going. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. The last series of the day, which will be Doghouse versus the Pandas. We got a North American team versus a European team coming up. Stay tuned for that one. So go on a short break here.